Oh, we're live. Hey.
Hey everybody, welcome to Exposure. We have tonight
Very special performance. Dom the Barber.
Oh my goodness, it's so good to be here. Thanks so much, Max and Parker and the gang.
And
The whole gang.
And we got
the whole gang is here.
Multiplied since you left.
It is a festive atmosphere here today, which is what I always wanted. You know, I was always trying to invite people on down. Come on down, join in the fun.
Yeah.
What? We got like 10 people.
There's at least
Well,
8,
yeah,
10 of us.
pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
We got some cool lights happening here. Dom brought his own psychedelic lights.
Yeah, you got to. You got to bring your own light sometimes.
I mean, that's pretty much what you need.
The listeners can't see the lights, but I hope in spirit they can understand what it's like.
That's
You
right.
feel it. You feel the energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Enough talking. Dom,
Let's get into it.
hear a track.
Let's get into the
hear
music.
a song.
Thank you so much, guys. It's so good to be back here. I'm honored to be on the other side of the microphones here. Thanks so much. It's good to be here. Here we go. Yeah, my name is Dom, and I go by Dom the Barber when I'm performing and when I'm on the radio, and I'd like to play my homemade instrument, the Wishy Diddly, for you. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. D is for dum and a dum dum diddly dum dum diddly dum dum dum. D is for dum and a dum dum diddly dum dum do. Never wish diddly on you, my friend, yet I find I wish diddly come round again. Never wish diddly on my foe, find yourself diddly bows. Diddly no, this here's a wish diddly, now you know. Diddly bo, diddly no, this here's a wish diddly, now you know. bo, diddly no, this is a wish, diddly now you know. Diddly bo, diddly no, this is a wish, diddly how it go. Diddly bo, diddly no, this is a wish, diddly how it go.
Hey, all right.
Yeah. That's called D is for Dom. It's the first song I wrote when I built this instrument and put it together, and I was messing around just trying to see if it works. I was just kind of messing and making these noises, and I started singing D is for Dom, and it kind of helped because right now all the strings are tuned to D. D D D. Oh, there we go. D D D.
There you go.
So it's got there's a lot of levels there. D is for Dom.
D is for Dom.
All right. And also, Dom is wearing a barber's uniform.
That's right.
And we were asking some questions before we were on air. How did you come to the name Dom the Barber?
That's another real good question. I think we have to do it justice and take the long road on this
Yeah,
one too.
for sure.
Going way back to my childhood, I grew up in a house in northeastern Pennsylvania. Big shout out to all my folks out there and my brother and everybody living there on Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And it's funny, the neighborhoods kind of all have businesses. You live in a house, maybe you live in an apartment upstairs or somewhere else, and then there's these businesses out in the front. And in front of my house there was a beauty parlor, and there was a barber shop right on the corner. So it was always there through my whole life. And the guy who happened to work in there, his name was Dom. The shop was called Dom the Barber's. Dom the Barber would come over and pay the rent. Hi, Dom. Dom the Barber. So I've been hearing the name for my entire life. But it goes deeper.
Wow.
My great-grandpa was a barber. I believe it was my great-grandpa. Mom, you correct me next time. But we grew up with the antique barber chair in the basement. And it was always there. We used to play on it, spin around on it. We used to use the headrest as a rest for our BB guns when we'd shoot in our little range. And as we got a little bit older and everybody wanted bowl cuts and things, we were soccer players, and they were in the mid, maybe like 90-ish, and everybody wanted these bowl cuts, the shavers. I got a razor, my first buzzer kit, with the scissors and the different things, and I set up my own barber shop. I went up to my bedroom, I unscrewed the mirror from my dresser, I pulled that downstairs, put it on a thing, put the chair in front of it, laid out all of my barber hair cutting devices in front, and I'd cut my own hair, I'd cut my brother's hair, and I'd cut some of the neighborhood kids' hair. They'd come over and they'd get a couple dollars to go get a haircut, probably at the real Dom the Barber's.
Nice,
but they wouldn't go to Dom the Barber's, they'd come to my basement. And we'd order some pizza, a couple slices from across the street. They'd bring the pizza over, we'd all eat pizza, I'd give them a haircut in the basement. They'd go home and their parents would say, "Why'd you do that?"
So you are a barber.
I'm a barber. I'm not trained, but I like to think that I have enough natural ability to not be afraid to,
There you go.
to dig in and start chopping.
That's believing in yourself.
Totally, yeah. I don't know if anybody in the room has ever cut their own hair, but it takes a little bit of guts to get started, and there's usually at least one moment during the haircut where you start panicking, saying, "What did I just do? and how am I gonna salvage this?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I love cutting hair. I still do it. I still cut my own hair. Cut my girlfriend Allison's hair right in the kitchen. We set up the set up the chair and get chopping.
Let's get
You've
going.
evolved past the bowl cut, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these days.
For the best.
Yeah. And I guess it's a great time to let everybody know that I fully support everyone out there, men and women and whatever you may identify as, to grow that hair long.
Yeah.
These short haircuts, grow it long unless
Hey.
there's still time.
still time,
Max,
true.
let that grow.
Let it grow.
If I ever had a shop, I think the first thing I'd do when they walked in the door is say, "You sure you want a haircut?" Starting to look good. We can give you a little trim. Help you grow that out.
Yeah.
Just drive all your business away. Like, no, I want it longer.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Yep. A bunch of long hairs running around, happy as could be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's Burlington. It's not too far away.
Yeah, that's true.
How about another tune?
Yeah, sure. Here we go. A little song about the guillotine. Gallows are broken down and rotted. That's why we're waiting for the guillotine. My crime has already been committed in another place where I once lived. And I can hear them say, off with his head, off with his head. My walk is slow, my eyes are downward. It's quite depressing, this ball and chain. The blades are sharp, my maker's done his duty. He mastered at the school where he learned his trade. And I can hear them say, off with his head, off with his head. I hear their cries and the words that scold me. I know their reasons, but I'm not sold. They take my mask off the crowded sighs. They lay my head down, this man dies, lost his head, off with his head. Samson, my friend, your design is faulty. All your ropes and chains have begun to fray. Pelletier, my friend, your design is faulty. Yet you don't deserve what you'll take today. And I can hear them say, off with his head, off with his head, off with his head, off with his head, off with his head. Here we go.